Welcome everybody to the Help Dr. Fantastic and Thunder Save the Planet show. Thunder, what are we going to do today?
Same thing we do absolutely every day, Dr. Fantastic. Continue our mission to save the planet.
And we're also podcasting on our Dr. Fantastic and Thunder show. So we've got a podcast and a webcast going. And the whole purpose of this is to educate everyone on the extinction level event that's occurring today. And it started 7 years ago when Japan had an earthquake, which caused a tsunami, which hit 6 of the biggest nuclear reactors on the planet in Fukushima, Japan. The geniuses who designed that plant put the backup generator, because when the earthquake hit, the power went out. The backup generator was brilliantly placed in a basement. When a tidal wave hits the coast, it goes to the lowest position, which is a basement or ground floor. And of course, the generators went out. So for the last 7 years, we've had 300 tons of radioactive material pouring into the ocean and into the atmosphere. So we've got a lot of Thunder, if you can, Thunder, can you bring some images of the mutilations that are occurring around the world in humans, fish, animals, plants, insects, fruits, and vegetables. So pretty much everything's being radiated, generation upon generation, because as of the last 7 years, you can imagine how many generations of fish that got polluted, that mated, and then passed it on. So we have a 3-phase plan of attack for this show and for saving the planet. Phase 1 is education. People need to hear what we're talking about right now. We just started a couple weeks ago, and nearly everyone I've asked about Fukushima, I can finally pronounce it, no one knows what's going on. And the government certainly doesn't want you to know about it, because they want you to work your 8 to 5, go home, watch TV, and repeat the next day. Don't think about extraterrestrials. Don't think about extinction level events. Just mind your own business. They'll take care of things, which they're not. So we got fired up and while talking to a few people about this extinction level event, and we launched this channel. We want everyone watching to share it with people, because everyone needs to know what's going on. So phase 1 is education. Tell the world, let's get the celebrities, let's get the scientists, let's get the politicians, let's make everyone aware that this problem didn't go away, even though you're not thinking about it. That's phase 1. Phase 2 will be come up with some solutions. And we're going to talk to Thunder, and he's got a solution, and we've got other people that we'll be talking to that have other solutions. So phase 2 is find the solution. Phase 3 is fund the solution. And we've got some people with some big dollars that are coming in to help us save the planet. So let's on the phone with us today on the show, we have Barry from Florida. Of course, we got Thunder in Massachusetts, me in California, and Jesse in Philadelphia. Guys, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Now, Jesse is a recent graduate, so he's the younger. Let's have the young guy go first. Jesse, what do you think about what I just said and what you know about Fukushima?
And a whole awareness project going on with what's going on with the nuclear waste leaking out all over the world, and certainly in different areas of the world, especially with Flint, Michigan, how the water is polluted. And they're still not doing they're still not really doing much about that. The government's not really doing much about that. Elon Musk was trying to do something, and then he wasn't allowed to do something. So, I think it's ridiculous, and I think that there's no excuse, especially for us to pass. For some reason, the Trump administration thought it was a good idea to back out of the Paris Climate Agreement. And, it's just things like that, and how all of a sudden the environmental Environmental Protection Agency doesn't matter anymore, and then everything's just popping out of thin air. The writing's on the wall now, and that's what everybody has to deal with, or they could just stay asleep instead of be woke in the reality that is in their face. That's how I feel.
Well, Jesse, you may not know this, but I think we have 104 nuclear reactors around our country, United States, and the government, to get rid of the plutonium. Now, are you sitting down? Guess how they're getting rid of the plutonium? They're dumping it in the ground.
Yeah, that's horrible because then you're polluting the earth.
We have underwater aquifers.
It's not bad.
Now, France
Absolutely terrible.
France has 52 nuclear reactors, and what they do is they put them in big barrels and they ship them to other countries. Genius. At least France got it together a little bit. So it's more than just Fukushima. Fukushima is the third huge natural breakdown of nuclear plants. First was 3 Mile Island, then there was Chernobyl, and now there's Fukushima, which is far worse than both of those a few times over. And it's happening every day. You have a map of the ocean there. 70% of the Pacific Ocean is toast. I believe that the fishermen that have to make a living are selling radiated fish because they have to make a living. They're catching radiated fish, so I'm sure they're selling it. And it's just it's a bad situation. We may be repeating ourselves from previous episodes, but it takes repeating so we can drive home the fact that we're all in the boat together, and this is a really bad situation. Barry, chime in. What do you think about all this?
Yeah, so apparently we have 8 to 10 years to try and figure out a solution to fix this, or within 8 to 10 years, there'll be permanent damage to the environment and ozone layer, where further generations of humankind, it's going to be a real struggle for people to get the right nutrients from the food they eat, and especially with all these added dangerous chemicals, especially nuclear fallout we have to worry about now. So nuclear pollution. I guess, would that be the same thing? Nuclear fallout is basically.
Well, I just thought it was the ocean that got polluted, and that the plant basically went down to the bottom of the ocean, 4.5 miles down. But then I just recently learned, Thunder and I, in our last show, that the radiation is still spewing into the atmosphere. So it goes up into the atmosphere, blows around with the jet stream, and it collects in the rain, and it rains on us. So the whole world is being polluted through the atmosphere, as well as we lost our biggest ocean, at least 70% of it so far. So I didn't hear about the 8 to 10 year deal, but I know an extinction level event. I don't know the timeline on ELE, but I do know that if we don't solve the problem, we're pretty much in a bad state of affairs. Barry, want to chime in here?
Well, I sure do. I live in, my name's Barry Lee, and I've had a number of innovations with software and business for about 25 years now. Well, it's really interesting. I grew up in Pennsylvania on a farm. So I grew up on 3.5 acres of a homestead. I had to understand what gray water was, green water was, white water was. In other words, we had a septic tank.
Barry, talk a little lower. You're overmodulating. Talk a little lower, or not so close to the mic.
It's overmodulating. Wow, I never hear that before. That's something new. So I have an interest in this. I lived in NorCal for quite a while. I lived in San Francisco, and when this happened, my family actually was in Tokyo. Part of my family is Air Force, and they are actually on the Big Island and Tokyo. I'm an avid eater of seafood and fish, and I was quite worried when the Deepwater Horizon had its crash about what it would do to shellfish and mollusks and mussels in particular. Each of these type of aquatic animals, they all filter the water, and every type of contaminant goes through them. So through any type of amphibian and those type of animals, you can tell in particular what the health is. And I noticed the CDC and the FDA started changing what their requirements were for levels of toxins and heavy metals and lead in fish. And they started to change the amount of time so you could consume such fish. My understanding is it's 12 times a year that you're supposed to have salmon, which, it used to be rich in omega-3s, et cetera, and you can't do that anymore because if you overdose on that, you might get all the mercury poisoning, which is amazing how this has gone up. And under the former administrations, they changed the requirements of the numbers. I believe it's a parts per million within the water itself. And they stopped reporting it. It went to a certain level on the scale. They don't even report it in the water. Something, just to tie it back to Northern California, is that we're right on that, what you guys call the jet stream or the ocean streams or the current. And I was watching as that fallout crept across the ocean to the Pacific, and it was unbelievable. Now, I'm no longer there. I'm in Vero Beach, Florida now, but I know we have local residents. I talk to local people, and they have red tide formations, and they've never seen the levels as low as they are. And, of course, we're protected. We're on the Space Coast, as they call it. We're protected with that inland harbor type situation for this. But there are a number of people that I know are Florida residents. They're friends that are getting problems with the red tide. So local people are feeling it.
What's the red tide taste like? Is it kind of fruity or no? Okay.
It does sound delicious, doesn't it?
Well, I live in Marina Del Rey, and I've seen red tide here a few times, and it's pretty disgusting. It's where the plankton are dying, correct?
Right.
Yeah, it's a starvation of oxygen.
Well, we got to come up with some solutions. Thunder has got an idea, and he's been working on it as a possible solution. You want to talk about that, Thunder?
Well, as you can see, I got green lights sitting around here, my little UFO buddies, because when we shoot lasers and we're trying to record imagery, a lot of times we wreck cameras by accident, and this is one of those times when we were looking at measuring different types of radioactivity. We will use different lasers and optics, and this is one of the times when I go through a lot of equipment in a year. That's usually what one of the main things we're burning up are lasers and video optics. So what we're looking at doing is isolating the frequency which will contain radioactivity, and that frequency just happens to be gold. AU. Gold will retard, is that the right word to say? Retard? Reflect a frequency. Because gold's pretty smart stuff, so we got to use the right term. It will isolate the radioactivity. So now that we've been able to build basically it's going to look about the size of a Twinkie, and we are going to fill that with a gold resident off-gassing frequency by encasing gold in our organite. Then we will amplify and potentize that golden field up to about 8 to 10 miles, and construct the right pyramid size to render now Fukushima's radioactivity inert. This will also help in the cleanup of the soil application as well. We can safely then remove that soil, start growing some wheat over top of it, and then feeding that bread to Russia. Would be a good place to send it to. They need to buy some wheat. Then once we neutralize everything away, we fix the soil, remediated the soil. Our next is then to replace every nuclear power plant in the world with with a power plant that is safe, a green power plant system. And the billions of dollars that are spent to achieve these mega or even terawatt power plants can be done for 10 cents on the dollar and producing power plants that are safe. So that's our end game results. Barry had mentioned also, about the tides that we're seeing out there in Florida. And I have been asked over the last year a couple of times when I was even in Florida to talk with some of the bio-oceanographer and what we call the study of oceanography?
Oceanographers.
Sorry, oceanographer, yeah. And about the scenario that's going down there. In my opinion, what happened in Florida is because of Lake Okeechobee and the release of algae that happened when they opened up the flood water, or the flood canals, I guess you would call them. I don't know what you call them. For the boats. When that Carnival cruise ship can no longer go around the bottom of Florida and just wants to cut across it, I mean, that's when the problem began. And so wholeheartedly, I see, there's a lot of fat cats who owned a lot of swampland down there that got paid a lot of shipping whales, right? Okay? That's what I see happening down there in that scenario. But we want to test with all aspects. Now, Florida is full of nuclear power plants as well.
I want to say something real quick about power plants and Dr. Fantastic, in particular, maybe towards you. Do any of you really try to using the SCEO incident map that you can get the live time from? I had it removed mine because there were so many local power plants. What I mean by that, different states, as Thunder was just saying, there were so many power plants here in Florida because of the hydroelectric, obviously, capabilities on the shore. But there were a number of power plants that are aging. As was mentioned earlier, I mean, these are 30-year-old, 35-year-old machines that General Electric no longer really services. I mean, they're using different types of machinery nowadays, and they're not being repaired, and they're leaking. And they're leaking in, again, to our aquifers in the water. And I just want to bring that up real quick because, Thunder, you reminded me because all the different plants are down there.
I was told it takes tens of billions of dollars to decommission one. They just can't turn it off. It takes billions and billions of dollars when they want to shut it down. So that's a little ludicrous. Barry, you got to back away from the microphone. Barry, I'm sorry, Barry. You really got to back away from the microphone a little bit more.
I'm miles away from this thing, so.
Yeah.
Tesco just can't shut it off. Fukushima.
It's just, I can't, it's hard to hear you.
We have a cheaper, our solution is actually cheaper than the cost for them to shut down.
No, they have to pay that money to shut down, Thunder. They don't have a choice. They have to spend $30 billion to shut down a plant. That's what it costs for them to shut it down, just to turn it off. It's like unbelievable.
Because they think they have to build another one for the same amount of money. That's the reality.
Oh. We have to get. So we're launching a new plant, guys. A new website, rather. It's entitled "Help Us Save the Planet," and we're going to post on our pages there all the anti-nuclear agencies, all the great speeches from dignitaries from around the world that are talking anti-nuclear energy, anti-nuclear bombs. As you guys know, we have 30 times the amount of bombs needed to incinerate the planet. 30 times over. And we're going to post a lot of information because information is what's important, so people know what's going on in the nuclear age. I think we dug ourselves a grave and we're burying ourselves in it.
For sure.
You know what, Jesse? I want to ask Dr. Fantastic. I want to ask Jesse something because you mentioned something early in the call, and we've got some tech problems and me overmodulating for some. Jesse and I are on the business aspect of this because we believe, and I deeply in my own heart, and one of the reasons I brought Jesse to speak with you is his background is more applied science, obviously in engineering, whereas applied quantum physics doesn't always interpret to the world, Thunder, with all due respect. So that's why I brought my friend Jesse here. What we're trying to do is to educate Dr. Fantastic. I'm literally sitting in here giving my personal expertise and opinions and interest in how we can bring this message to people, to the consumers, to the world, because once they realize are going to know there's a problem. They already know there's a problem, they just don't know what it is. And I'm looking to bring automation and the legs to do that rather than we're going to really be bringing a strong effort with Thunder's technology. And Jesse's knowledge of applied science, and Dr. Fantastic, of course, your passion and your expertise. That's really, as far as I see, that's why we're here today, is to learn more from each other and try to find ways that we can immediately implement. Because as far as I'm saying, as I told Thunder the other day, first quarter 2019, I'm hitting the ground running with an educational campaign that we're going to be hopefully converting people onto this type of technology and information. So sorry, I just want to throw that out.
That's good. I mean, that's what it's all about, is throwing out knowledge. We're also going to be posting on the site foods you can eat that will help reduce the radiation in your body, because we're all getting low dosage right now. Basically, if you're on sea level, you're pretty much better off at sea level right now because the radiation is lower in the water and higher in the atmosphere. So sea level is probably the safest place to be right now. But we're going to give as much information about the dangers of radiation and how to counteract it with Helidium technologies, with foods like sauerkraut. There's lots of different foods that you can eat that will help eliminate if there's any radiation in your body. I just bought a Geiger counter, so we're going to do some experiments with that. I've proven Thunder's technology over the years with laser heat guns, with on Be Fantastic Today, we've got a video showing us how we eliminate electromagnetic frequencies from your cell phone. By the way, everyone who joins our channel gets a free one, which is kind of cool. Thunder has been generous to donate that to our membership. We've got over 700 people being fantastic. Jesse, I don't know if we've introduced it to you or not, but we will down the line. It started with the Be Fantastic movement, then it went into the podcast. Now it's into this webcast because we have a passion. I can't ignore something that's this important. My wife thinks I'm totally lost it because I'm trying to save the planet. So she's known me for quite some time, and maybe I have lost it. But Thunder, you and I have to do something, and it's with people like taking your time, Barry, Jesse, and others. Thank you for taking the time to at least address the issue and throw your 2 cents into the pot, and let's reach out to everyone.
Mind if I provide my input as far as approaching solutions?
That's why you're here.
So one thing that I support right now is known as, I'm not sure if you're familiar with this technique of farming, but it's known as vertical farming. So for instance, I think it's Bowery Farms. I think they're called Bowery Farms, and I think they're in New York City. They work on this technique of farming where you have shelves stacked together, then you have these little ecosystems for the plants to grow in. And this is all indoors in the factory, and these are organic, they're growing organic crops on these shelves, which I find fascinating. Another point I want to bring up is the idea of a biosphere or biosphere. So basically, isolating certain vulnerable plants that are essential to us from destructive environments. So basically, think of like I guess a little chest or a little place to put all these different plants into the right ecosystems, and we can monitor and control the temperature in the atmosphere that our crops grow in, and then perhaps we can do the same for herds of animals where we have them bunched in their own ecosystem where they can help fertilize crops and all that good stuff that matters. So I think going down the line, especially if we're dealing with all this nuclear pollution, we have to build these biospheres. We have to invest in vertical farming. Obviously, fossil fuels is dangerous and is not helping the situation with the ozone layer. So finding a way that we can use alternative sources of fuels to get a leg up and help manage, and technology as in the convenience of dealing with all these problems around the world, as well as the projection of our own ego. I always consider technology not only a convenience of man, but a projection of what we're trying to do for the world and what exemplifies our personalities or our persona. So the way I think of technology and how we should utilize it, and making this environmental effort is going to be really important, and especially with my medical technologies, I definitely have a vested interest in environmentalism, using technology for environmental causes, if that makes any sense.
It does.
Yeah, and there was one more point I wanted to make. I forgot what it was, but I think I said a handful. I don't know if anybody has, based on what I've mentioned.
I'm curious about vertical grow. Absolutely, I'm all for vertical grow. I think per acreage, you can't really. I mean, the highest yield per acreage, vertical grow is the most economical way and highest yield you will see. So yes, I completely concur.
And urban farming, everyone has a balcony.
Dr. Fantastic had mentioned the plants you can eat in vertical growing that was just mentioned, spirulina, and different types of microgreens are a very hot trend right now, and they're done in vertical tray growing. And as Dr. Fantastic was talking about, there are certain plants for the human being to take that are grown in this microgreen environment that work amazing, including hemp, and cleaning up waste sites and nuclear waste and such. I was talking more about the edible greens, but speaking of plants, there's obviously great applications and great money in hemp and cannabis cultivation. I just want to throw that out. Sorry about the can, guys. I'll do something different next time.
And kelp. I mean, kelp is a good thing to eat as long as it's being farmed in the right area. You know, I think I saw about 25 different foods that are good to eat. Pickles. I love food.
I work commission with a company known as Meridian Botanicals, located in St. Louis. And
I've heard of them.
Oh, yeah. So for those of you who don't know, I can share the website and share a 10% discount code within in the chat. So if you guys want to help promote the business and get a 10% discount at checkout, we have USDA grade product, USDA organic grade product, certification of authenticity, meaning no added metals and all that bad stuff. So, and the guy who owns the business, his name's Justin. He's excellent. He's excellent. He really knows his stuff about all the neuropharmacological reactions that happen with all the different blends we have and extracts, and we have health stuff as in essential oils, vitamins and minerals that we sell on the website. that information since we're talking about different foods that we can focus on and how we can better focus on well-being when we're in this time where we're dealing with nuclear pollution.
Well, Jesse, we'd love to have Meridian and yourself back on our other show, which is all about improving your mind, your body, and the planet. And that sounds like you've got a solution for improving the body with Meridian Botanics. So we'd love to schedule an appointment on that show.
Do you guys have zeolite?
I'm not sure. You're probably going to have to check the website.
Zeolite is a fantastic to remove radiation from your body. Zeolite and the zeolite frequency. I don't know where you get that, but I've been using that. There's only one blaze, brother. We use zeolite frequencies and to neutralize that away. We got this. We have the solution. We are ready, full blown. What is preventing us from telling Japanese authorities to say, hey, Iridium wants to throw a couple of pucks in and around when I say pucks, they're about the size of a hockey puck, in and around the Fukushima area. We want to drop them off with drones. We'll have Monty, he'll be driving the boat. I think we'll have, I'll operate the drones from my laptop on the other end of the Pacific. And we'll deploy these hockey pucks in the area and then pull the Geiger counter out there. I mean, we don't know how to get any more proof than that. Okay, it's now safe. Go in there and let's fix it.
You know what, I think, I know you're being a little tongue-in-cheek, but you're not at the same time, and neither am I. And what I had mentioned earlier about the leasing plans all over the United States, maybe there is a way that we can, we have Jesse, Temple University, they have, from my understanding, a particle collider there. And I'm going to get myself in trouble right now, right? I believe they have, you're not supposed I believe they have a particle collider there, and maybe there is a possibility that we can do a lab-level investigation of the reduction. And maybe there's someone that's willing to write a paper. Well, kind of please. Because I don't know that much about it. I know about marketing and how to get the word out.
Yeah, we can do this, but hey, you're going to tell me that they're going to release a radioactive particle and then try to test it on their campus? No, we can't. No, they would never go with that. That's too risky. But
I'm not going with that.
Yeah, well, that's it. Hey, Dean. Hey, we'd like to release a nuclear isotope there on your campus. Would that be okay? That might be a tough one to convince.
Well, wait a minute. Can't they keep it in a box and we drop your helium on the box and get rid of it?
Right, and that's what I was going to say, because the isolators on the particle collider, that's what they're for.
It's thunder. It's isolated.
Yeah.
It's isolated.
Right. I wasn't saying open a straight foot in the middle of Temple.
Yeah, we don't want to call campus authorities and let them know that we might have a leak. Oops. Iridium was wrong. Thunder was wrong. Oh.
Right. Hey, Jesse, what do you think? We're going to open it on your campus, man.
Yeah. We can't.
Did we lose Jesse?
Oh, man. Hello?
Did we lose Jesse?
Hey, there.
Hey. I sorry, I thought somebody asked me something.
Yeah, where are you?
We lost your camera.
Oh, yeah. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah, that's all good.
We were talking about experimenting on your campus. I thought, Thunder and I thought you might be interested in this.
This is my flashlight. No light
I love
in the
it.
room.
Ah!
What is this? You know, Blair Witch Project?
and the faculty, rather, the board is going to fly with that one. I think you guys are
Well, we definitely have to test out. We definitely have to test out solutions.
I think what Thunder was saying though is, yeah, why don't we have something like that? And I want to facilitate that. I mean, at Thunder, and I don't want to introduce too much that's behind the scenes, but I believe that we have a major breakthrough with a local company that will allow us to start to get at least the emissions out there. And Dr. Fantastic, with everyone having a Black Mirror cell phone, Black Mirror, like carrying around with them, a tracking device. And people are now aware of EMF. I think there's a real audience now. And it's as simple as they want it, need it, but they don't know why, but they know it's bad. And all we have to do is to find a vehicle to get the word out. And I'm willing to start with that. I'm looking for you guys to define a little better, how you want your message articulated. And but something we're going to start moving forward with, getting some of your technologies out there. I'm going to be quiet because I really want to hear some like the solutions that you have, obviously Thunder and Dr. Fantastic. I want to learn about that passion that you have to educate people and to apply it.
Well, here's something that you might not know about, but 5G is on the horizon. They're going to be rolling out 5G. In 1977, the Russians did an extensive analysis of the 5G technology. It's going to fry people's brains. It's horrendous. They're going to be all over the place on everyone's rooftops, and it's going to be decimating. And I think the EMF reducer we may protect you. Is that correct, Thunder, on 5G?
It's our new slogan. 5G will kill a bee. That's simple. Yeah.
Okay.
5G will kill the bees.
We have an interview where the guy was working on these cell towers, and they have to shut the cell towers down to work on them, or the workers get fried. I mean, what does that tell you?
I was one of those workers at MCI putting up microwave dishes back in 89, 90, and was, wondering why all my food was cooked in my cooler and my playmates, and I hadn't even put them on the stove yet or in the microwave, but my food was already cooked. It was crazy back then, and we couldn't even be near these big systems when you flipped them on. These 15-foot uplink satellite systems. I mean, you start to kind of feel the hair in the back of your neck, first a little bit twitch, and then you start seeing birds fall. You just take off running, man. Just get out of there. That's all. That was the protocol back then. Get out of the area when we go online.
Well, I encourage everyone. We'll be posting lots of different things on Help Us Save the Planet, but there are a lot of problems out there that's going on, and we're going to focus first on Fukushima for the short term, and then we'll be educating people on other problems that you face on a daily basis. People just don't know, and the government's not going to go out of their way to tell you. That's for sure.
So here's a Fukushima question real quick, and this is from consumer side, from people that ask me different questions, and again, it's back to food. I have people that are not eating any of the Asian caught fish at all. And they were resorting to fish on the fish farms that they feel is better. However, I understand that the fish farms that use fertilizers that are not aquaponic or hydroponic, or there's another couple, that don't use outside fertilizer, are still dangerous because toxins grow up in them, and they're feeding on their own dead colleagues, literally, because the water's oxygen are. So really, people don't know which way to go. They say, well, I can't eat the fish because of mercury and heavy metals, and I can't eat the farm-raised fish because of fertilizers. So what, at this point, do you think is the best option for people? I've told people locally, farm raised fish locally within a certain 150 miles. You guys have any opinions on that?
I think what's gonna happen, in my opinion, is urban farming. I've interviewed a few companies that have these small little organic farms for the local restaurants within like a mile radius. So then, if it's very easy to create fish tanks and have them organic and have them. So I think it has to be like even Amazon. They're going down to the neighborhoods. Amazon's a global brand, but they realize the neighborhood is what's important now. So if the neighborhoods grow fish, if the neighborhoods grow your leafy vegetables and fruits and vegetables and fruit trees, I think that might be one of the solutions, is to shrink the instead of have these massive farms, shrink it down to urban farming.
I understand. Absolutely, no, that makes perfect sense. And yeah, wow, okay, right.
One of the projects that I've been asked to oversee and kind of overlook as far as adding expertise and consulting is a 7-story greenhouse where the top 6 stories are food that is being grown vertically, and then the first story, the ground level, is actually the grocery store where you buy everything that was grown upstairs. The same can be done. Yeah, the same can be done in the fertilizing system for hydroponics when you're growing fish, and then utilizing that fish, utilizing its waste as a fertilizer. And then the grass setting, in the area, you want organically fed. You don't want GMO fed animals.
Well, you're seeing high rises go up with with apartments in them, with retail spaces in them, and then you're probably going to see, like you say, farming in them. So I think we're going to just shrink down and have almost like encapsulated communities. But real quick, guys, I got to sign off on the podcast. So I want to thank everyone who's listening to the Dr. Fantastic and Thunder show. If you want to see the rest of the interview, go to Help Dr. Fantastic and Thunder Save the Planet on YouTube, and you'll see the rest of the interview there. Thank you for listening. Share, like, subscribe, and most importantly, be fantastic, everyone.